All right, everyone. I'm super excited for this episode. I'm bringing in Art Wicks. Is one of my buddies, my friends, mentor. He has been in tech sales for the longest time, working amazing organizations like IBM, HP, Microsoft. In fact, he was the one who recommended me to go to Microsoft and put the referral and all that stuff that I teach. Anyways, I wanted you to hear his story and be inspired by him. And he's a great guy, down to earth, great person, great human being. And I'm super excited. I'm gonna bring him to stage now. So welcome, Art Wicks. Here we go. Bring him to stage. Hey, Art, how are you, man? Can you hear me?
Man, I'm doing great. How you doing, Dayvisson? Yes,
Doing
sir. I can hear
great.
you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Super excited to have you
Good.
here today.
Good deal.
I was just talking about you, and I'm glad we're able to connect. Um,
Absolutely.
So everyone knows here that this podcast is all about not about me, not about you, but about the people who are trying to transition to tech sales. My biggest goal is to inspire and help people to be able to, you know the path that they should follow. Like a lot of times, it's just a little tip here and there, and gives people clarity. So my biggest goal is to help. Man, you're a great inspiration for me. I remember the first time I saw you. I was working at IBM. You were just sitting on your booth, doing your thing, making phone calls and emails, and you actually there for a while. We never really talked, and then we connected. We talked for we bonded really fast, and then all of a sudden you just went to your next job, and then you were gone, man. And I was like, what happened to Art?
Mm.
And but since then we stay connected, and great inspiration for me. So I wanted people to hear a little bit more about you. So I wanted you to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about who's Art and what are you doing right now these days.
Sure. Now, Davidson, first, thanks for including me in this process, and of course, we've been friends. Matter of fact, yeah, I've been more than happy putting my name stamp of approval on you as a individual and as a sales professional, and that to me is an important thing to do. Knowing that people are good character and willing to do the right things the right way, and I absolutely see you that way, my friend.
Thank you.
Um, so just to give you a little feel for me, my name is Art, like I say, Art Wicks. I am currently part of the IBM IT automation team in our digital sales organization, located here in Dallas. The focus that I have is on a lot of it is on new client acquisition,
Mm.
as well as taking care of existing clients that are in the Northeast area of the United States. And so, bottom line, my job is to take a look at my portfolio of solutions, identify the right resources I need to connect with to tell them about the value proposition, and then phone calls, emails, whatever it takes to engage and get a that discussion going, with the goal of selling those, being and implicitly being a partner with the clients. It's not about, nobody wants to be sold to. They want to see the value, help
Mm-hmm.
them. I bring in technical people who can vet it out, either through demo or proof of concept, and allow them to make the best decision that makes the biggest impact on their business. And that's ultimately the goal of anybody that's in sales. If you come into it with the idea that you're going to push a product on someone, or people are busy, and people nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to be sold to. They just want to be educated. You want to bring a point of view that is unique and different than everybody else in the marketplace. One thing I like about IBM
Mm-hmm.
is that they have probably the most expansive portfolio of solutions across the board from a hybrid cloud perspective. And I know that sounds a little techy, but right now, cloud is the new frontier in terms of how you can sell technology or utilize technology. That is, and most of the technology or software, that's what I sell, is
Mm-hmm.
has had run on premise or on servers, and now that the whole idea of cloud has become a much bigger deal. But just to give you a perspective
Perfect.
of where I how I got here. um, Back when I was still in high school, I came across an organization. It was called Inroads. And Inroads was an opportunity for someone like myself to get exposed to engineering and business. So I had a chance to
Mm-hmm.
go to college when I was still in high school. I had a chance to, actually get my first career job as an intern. Even
Okay.
as I was in high school, and guess what the first job I ever had, it was
Yeah, I
with
was gonna ask you, like,
I
what was your very
yeah
first job? What did you
my
do?
very first job was I was an intern with IBM.
Oh, no
uh
way. Your first job?
yeah, first job.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay,
And
so you started in tech?
I yep, it was my that was my first entree into business, and it was absolutely a almost like a match made in heaven, because to me, wherever you work, the culture has to align well with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt, I'm a person that enjoys working with people, helping people. uh the culture aligned very well with who I was as a person. And then I
Nice.
got my first touch of what technology was, because I was called a system engineering intern. So I would be
Oh,
a part
okay.
of the technical discussion when we would talk to clients, and I
Interesting.
did that. And from that point on, I was that was what I
Uh,
wanted to do. I
wow.
knew no question about it. I wanted to be a part of that for
So
my
so
career.
so let me just ask a follow-up question there. So your first job, so you were like in some sort of like a pre-sales team that you're like kind of the technical expertise or like some solution specialist, and then you help the sales team. How that. Oh, I don't want to dive too deep into the what you did. I just want to know what exactly you did.
So what I did back in those days, there was kind of the two-headed sales team. There was a marketing rep, and then there was a systems engineer. So
Okay,
the marketing rep was, obviously the sales arm. They got the meetings and all that kind of stuff. The
got it.
system engineer was the one that would bring the technical expertise
Perfect,
to the IT for folks.
perfect. And how did?
And so I basically had a few products that I would come in and give a little bit deeper dive into the technology.
Okay, okay, perfect. And now, so you hacked into IBM as your first job. That's amazing. Like, I mean, that's probably the dream of a lot of people here listening to this. And you got an internship, which is even better because an internship, open doors for all those opportunities. How did you get the internship? Was that maybe you already said, maybe I missed it, but did you saw the post online? Was that like your school or they recruiting locally at your school? Did you knew someone?
Yes. Yeah. So as the inroads opportunity, actually part of that was mentorship with people who are already in the industry, that were already in
Mm,
business and industry.
okay.
But as a part of the program, if you were successful, you would qualify to be uh, to get an internship at one of the
Mm,
sponsoring company, which IBM was one of the sponsoring companies. So
God.
it
So
was
I see.
part of that.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Wow.
And
So
I was an engineer. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
step
no,
in.
no, no. Go ahead.
So I was an engineer, and my undergrad degree was in engineering. So it was like it was my undergrad was in engineering management. So it was kind of a mixture of
Mm,
engineering and business. And because I didn't see after I realized that I didn't see myself as just a an engineer or a technologist. I also saw myself engaging with people. I saw
mm,
myself wanting to do more things that would allow me to uh, not just sit behind a desk and run numbers, but actually engage with people. So
mm-hmm.
the opportunity with IBM kind of met that need. I didn't necessarily think I'd be in sales because you think
I
sales, you
see.
think
Yeah.
you
Car
know
sales and all that.
car salesman and all this other stuff. Uh, but over the years, I realized it's just relationships, and I think we talked about this maybe about a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, everything that happens when you are in sales is because of the relationships you create with your colleagues, with your manager, with your clients, with your business partners. As you build those relationships, you find out where you can help solve problems, and that to me, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we are problem solvers, and trying to find people who could use help in getting their business in a better place. So
Mm.
I looked at it differently, I guess is what I would say.
Oh yeah. No, but you mentioned something very, very important because a lot of people come to me and they are technical, and then they ask me, "Hey, Jason, can I transition to sales?" And you mentioned something about
Hmm.
you didn't you wanted to be in front of people, you wanted to be connected with people, and not only be
Hmm.
behind the scenes. And that's a very transferable skill. That if you are
Yes.
technical and if you like people and if you like being in front of people, tech sales
Hmm.
is probably going to be really, really good for you because you made a career out of that. Art, you have been
Yes.
tech sales for over 20 years. Tell a little bit more about so you spent all this time at IBM. And I was looking at your LinkedIn today, and look, you went to HP, and then you went to Microsoft, and then IBM again. All I made amazing organizations.
Hmm.
Question is, how did you get your job at HP? Right? How did you land? How did you hack into HP? And then how did you hack into Microsoft? Because that's also uh, you probably and you went back to IBM, right? So can you walk us through the how did you get into those jobs?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. So
yeah.
so after I left Microsoft, I basically had the mindset, okay, I need to just get out there in terms of networking with folks. So I had friends of mine that told me about a top golf that HPE had.
Mm,
And when I was there, I met the president of the sales organization for HPE. And, we hit it off. At the event, she kind of she told me about some enterprise storage roles that they had at a and you know, basically was able to interview and get that role. So, realistically, it's, getting back to our point of just having, you gotta have a networking mindset, and you gotta be able to create um, lasting and, substantive relationships with people. They need to see who you are, not just, come up to them and asking them about jobs, but okay, what value do I have I brought, and what kind of person am I? Right? That's the kind of thing that I think really gets. If you're gonna go somewhere and be, uh, really be somewhere that you can bring value, you got to bring your authentic. See how how you can bring that to the fold. Um, I then moved when I moved to Microsoft. I'm getting back to our theme of relationships.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd known some people that worked that was at IBM when I was there for years.
Mm.
Found out that there was some one of the managers at IBM that I knew that they had some opportunities at a new team they were in business applications at Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
because he knew me from years ago and we had established a pretty good relationship. I reached out and I was able to get on the interview schedule, and he was going to be my manager as well. So
Oh,
again,
nice.
relationships, and what you got to ask yourself, when someone sees you coming, what do they see? What do they think, right? And so everything that you do to build yourself up and create long lasting mindful relationships, it pays off. It could pay off in a year, or it could pay off in 20 years. So that relationship from 20 years ago, came back, and it's
Wow.
important as well, not to create connection with people. Don't wait till you need people to reach out to
Mm.
them.
Good
Stay
point.
in tune with folks,
Good point.
and just, hey, how you doing? Some things that I'm doing, but don't ever just, not stay in contact with somebody, and when you need a job or need something, now you want to uh reach out. People don't appreciate that at all. So
Mm.
I've tried my best to stay kind of just in tune with folks that I respect and enjoy, and we've had a good relationship in the past.
Wow. I think that right there is the mic drop, comment. Probably if you forget I mean, he had said amazing stuff so far, even giving some masterclass sales strategies here. But if you forget everything that Art just said, um, find a way to keep in touch with people, throughout your life, throughout your career, not only
Mhm.
when you need something, right? um,
Yeah.
I was offered,
Yeah.
just touch point, right? Hey, how you doing? I see, these days we have LinkedIn, right? People dropping posts, maybe like a post or make a comment so people know, that you are there, you're connected, and again,
Hmm.
relationships. That's all I can hear. You first started with a mentorship, which is you were being proactive in finding help, right? There's all sorts of mentorship these
Hmm.
days. Sometimes not even paid, sometimes it's paid. But if you think about starting in tech sales, think about mentorships. Maybe you want to connect with someone that is in tech sales just to be
Yes.
mentored by them, right? You're not even working tech sales yet, but hey, maybe this I want to be a tech sales, so maybe he can be my mentor. That's a good way. And then you jumped to Microsoft relationship. Now you're at IBM again. So that how that happened, right? How did you hack back? We like to call the boomerang, right? Sometimes you the
Hmm.
good son
Right.
always comes back to the to come back home right now. I think you feel home again because you were at IBM for 20 plus years, and then you looked back. How did you get back to IBM?
So you'll see a recurring theme, right? So uh, I was I've always respected IBM as the culture. To me, the sales culture uh, trumps even the salary at times. So
Mm,
sales culture can be rather it can be different depending on the company and depending on the department within the company. It also
mm,
could have a lot to do with the manager, right? A lot of
100%,
people
yeah.
leave jobs not because of the money, not because of uh, necessarily the culture, but because of a manager. So
Hmm.
I was in the market to get back at IBM, and guess what? I had several people that I'd known for years, and when I
Mm,
told them that I was interested in getting back to IBM, they went to work and looked around for me and found out that there's a gentleman that I used to know, and years ago that was a manager when I was in the lead development role, and he had
mm,
some opportunities. And again, getting back to the point, what do people think of when they see you coming, when they hear your name?
mm,
And he remembered me, and he had some openings on the IT automation team. He remembered me. He remembered some of the things that I was able to accomplish, who I was as a person. Interviewed me, and I guarantee you, the interview probably lasted 15 minutes,
mm. Love
right?
that,
And
right? The power of
so,
networking
yeah, and it was
and the
like, okay,
reputation, of course.
yeah, exactly. Your reputation. It was already established. Yeah, I mean, you've had IBM, HPE, Microsoft. You can come back and bring some value to the game, and I know the kind of person you are. I
Yeah, I
know the
know.
kind of work ethic you have. I know the level of expertise you're going to bring to um, a role. And honestly, I was probably one of the um, more mature people on the team. So guess what?
Hmm.
How can I bring value to the younger, less
Mm,
experienced folks on the team? So I think all of those things came into play,
wow.
but it's creating a brand with the folks you work with, establishing a relationship, and what people and having people think very good things about you, which is important to me as an individual. Is I want to I literally want to help people, and when they think of me, I want them to think, okay, Art's willing to come in here and help, even beyond just the job, but help other people do well as well.
Mm, love that. Wow. So you found your way around. Of course, it's easy to like you because you likable personality, and that comes, great in sales. And then you build, your charm. You build your reputation here and there. Now you can go around and find jobs just like that, right? Um,
Well,
but
it's
oh, it's but because what you have built, right? Like again, you build rapport, you build a reputation, and people know, like, and trust you. And now, question for
hmm
you: you have been tech sales for so long, and we know there's not all sunshine and rainbows. It can be, there's ups and downs, and it's hard. But
hmm
from 0 to 10, you have been tech sales most of your life. How what's how likely you would recommend tech sales for someone who's thinking about moving to tech sales from 0 to 10?
Okay, so realistically, and before I answer that question, tech sales has changed a lot from the day I started. because when
Mm.
I started, there was pretty much a very limited uh, group of products, and the company I work for, IBM, was kind of the lead dog in in the
Top
technology
dog.
space. But as years have gone by, where now you go from hardware, software, now to cloud, there's a
Mm.
lot more players. Now you have
Mm.
companies like Amazon and Microsoft and all these other companies that are now uh, cloud ready and cloud first, that we're absolutely um, are working to get. They're in the marketplace. So you have to kind of have in today's world, you have had got to have a mindset that you're not afraid to make technology, bring it down to earth. You got to be willing to learn
Mm-hmm.
and understand how technology works. You got to be willing to, uh, understand all the way down to the persona of the person you're reaching out to. What do they care about?
Mm.
What keeps them up at night? How to ask questions in a way that uh, just shows that you're curious and authentically interested in understanding what their world is like, and then come back with something that could literally solve the problems that they have. So it's not for, and let's be honest, technology changes,
Mm-hmm.
and technology companies are based on stock prices and how well they're doing, and that can affect the employment scenario in tech sales. Just that's the reality that you
Part
live
of the
with.
game. Huh?
Yeah. Um, so if you're ready to jump in and to learn and to figure out ways to be relatable, to make technology relatable, and willing to put in the work to improve your talk track, improve your understanding, technology sales could be a great place to build a career. Um, and because there's always going to be something that
Mm-hmm.
people need in technology, whether it's AI, whether it's machine learning, whether it's so many different facets that you can play in. And then you can go the managerial route if that's what you want, or you can go even deeper, or you can go into different bit partner alliances, channels. I mean, so it's a matter of having a mindset of, okay, I'm going to be the best at what I'm doing now, but I'm also going to see how can I grow as an individual, and what other areas of that um, organization could my skill sets be also used. And again, getting back to the point, networking with those individuals, being mindful of where the growth is happening within your organization. Those are all important things that you need to be mindful of. So getting back to your original question,
No, yeah. This
um,
is perfect.
what, 1 to 10. I say it depends on the mindset of the individual, and how much you're willing to work to become an expert, and to be and looking out for the customer's interests. If that's where you are, then it could be a 10. And if that's not where you are, you need to be mindful of what I said, and work on those things, and you will
Mm.
be a success in tech sales.
I love it. Wow. See, I told you it's gonna be a masterclass here. So you naturally gave so many strategies and tips and ideas of how to be successful in sales that you don't even realize. You just
Yeah,
by experience.
it's
You just speaking by experience.
Yeah, sales is the truth of the matter. If I may use an old cliche, I mean everybody's in sales. If you're an accountant, you're in sales. You're a
Yep.
lawyer, you're in sales. If you're a doctor, you're in sales. If you're whatever it is, you're in sales because you're creating relationships that with your boss, with your company that says, "Yep, I am bringing value to the organization." So don't look at selling as something different. It's just you're just putting a more direct face on selling something, but you're ultimately going to be selling yourself. They're going to buy who you are before they buy the product.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
that's really the key, and everybody's in that. No matter what role they're in a company, they're in sales. It's just you have to connect with people you don't know and find ways to bring value to them in ways that nobody else can. That's the only difference in tech sales than any other role that you would have.
That's it. That's it. And yeah, you said it. I remember my very first job and actually making money and knocking doors. I was selling, I
Hmm.
believe it was, yeah, it was pest control, and my manager is like, "Hey, Davidson, they're not buying pest control, they're buying you. So hey, just smile, do your thing. They're gonna end up buying the
Yeah.
pest control no matter what."
Yes,
So
sir.
it's all about, of course, you want to bring value. Of course, your service and your product needs to help them out, but it starts with you, right? So just
Starts
be
with you.
confident, right? Tell people, hey, you have transferable skills. Yes, you have not done tech sales, but sales is sales. Sales is the same. There's tons of transferable skills that you have, and you can totally do this. If you can think
Yes.
about art, one like top, like I know it's hard, but if you can think about one transferable skill from someone who's not in tech sales, let's say they want to transition, what's that skill that they should probably have, and think like, wow, if I have that, I'm gonna be okay.
Um, if you're someone that is has a great personality that's can persuade people, and get them to come around to your point of view in a way that doesn't feel like you've put your put uh put yourself in front of them, but make them feel like
Mhm.
they've had something to do with it. You have the thing that I think will help you to be um, successful in technology sales. But you got to be curious. I would have to
Mm,
say two things. You got to be persuasive and in a good way, and you have to be curious. You have to ask great questions. You have to understand what it is that is important to people, because people don't care you know what you have until they know that you care about them.
mm,
If they can sense that you're just here so you can sell something to get a commission check, they'll smell that out.
yeah.
If you're willing to be an advisor, if you're willing to ask good questions and honestly be a good at follow up. Don't say you're going to do something and be late with it or not do it. All of these things build credibility, which is learning, growing your skill set and knowledge of your solution, you know, being relatable to people, right? And, just those things are the things that, if you think about it, most people have a lot of that. It's just technology is different because it changes all the time, and it has to be very specific to the person you're talking to so that they feel like you're not just throwing something spaghetti against the wall, but you understand what they do and why this could be helpful to them.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Art. we're coming up to a close here. I knew this was going to be awesome. I was super excited to have you in. We learned
Awesome.
today
Thank you,
how he
sir.
started. He started with an internship. He started with a mentorship program that IBM was one of the sponsors, and then he got basically acquired by IBM. Then, because of his relationships, he was able to go to HP on some sort of a golf event, right? A networking event,
Hmm.
and then
Yep.
made his way to Microsoft about knowing the right people, networking, and his way back to IBM, same way. So everyone listening here today, we also talked about several skills that if you have it, uh, they're transferable, and you don't have to be perfect either. You can always learn and improve and grow. Nobody's perfect. There's a room for everyone. Art also mentioned about all those new solutions and SaaS, and this back in the days there was maybe three or four big companies, and then if you work in tech sales, it was super maybe challenging. These days there's more options, there's more opportunities.
Hmm.
You just have to be willing to learn. And I mean, if you haven't listened to this whole thing, go back from the beginning, listen to the whole thing because that was amazing. Art, that's it. Like, I would love to spend more time here and ask you more about sales strategies and your ups and downs and all that. But I really want you to give a high level review of your story and so people can know where to begin, where to start, get some ideas and insights. And I hopefully that uh, not hopefully this podcast will definitely inspire a lot of people. I know that by fact. And you have inspired me throughout my career, and I appreciate your help and all the things. And um,
You're very welcome, sir.
how can people connect with you? Are you definitely on LinkedIn? So what's the best way to connect and then learn more from
Okay. Yeah,
solutions
I would
around?
say LinkedIn is probably the best way to connect. I mean, you can kind of get a good feel for the things that I put out there to uh, connect with clients and let them know more about what my my particular solution set is about. But yeah, just LinkedIn. If you would, if they want to learn more, they can send me a message and we can go from there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much, Art. And I'll see you on the next lunch.
There we go. We can. It's all we gotta figure out when the next one is. I'm all in as always.
All right. Thank you, brother. Have a good
All
one.
right. All right. You too. Have a blessed one, man.